Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Kimberly here. I wanted to talk today about 5 easy rituals you can do for self-care each morning pretty quickly. And these rituals specifically care for your senses, which tend to decline in acuity as we age, and are essential in terms of bringing in information from the reality around us and allowing us to respond accordingly. So, from an Ayurvedic perspective, our sensory perception greatly influences our mental health, as well as our ability to make healthy choices. So it's considered a high priority to take care of our senses on a daily basis. And so yeah, our senses are like the gateway to the rest of the world, right? The mind makes sense of what they bring in, the information that they bring in. And so they enable you to assess the world around you and make good decisions based on your assessment so that you can determine what's going to be supportive to your health or potentially harmful to your health and act accordingly. Our senses also have the power to direct where our mind's attention goes, right? So, if we want to say be focused in our meditation and, are really centering ourselves in that, and then we hear a loud crash, right outside our window, our mind is immediately going to go to that loud crash and, what is that about? Am I in danger? Do I need to help somebody? It's our senses can easily drag our mind out of whatever agenda we have for it, if there's something extreme enough. So sharp sensory perception allows us to hone in on our surroundings and adapt accordingly, so that we can experience vibrant health and minimal stress and beauty and joy in life. Adopting a daily practice of sense care can support our mental health by enabling us to both appreciate the finer things in life and fend off danger, right? So we can, through caring for our sense of smell on a daily basis, we can smell the flowers or the fragrant aromas coming from a kitchen. We can also smell that there's smoke and maybe a fire nearby. Or, smell that something out of the fridge is off and we probably shouldn't eat it. We should just throw it away. And we can do that for each sense. I'm not going to go through each one. You probably get the idea. But this idea of daily, just minimal care of them really facilitates their health and longevity. And that's the way of life in Ayurveda. Daily little bits of self-care really add up in the long run to health and longevity. So how can we care for our senses? Let's dive into these 5 simple rituals. The first is eye wash. So this can be as simple as just splashing cool water in your eyes, right out of the sink and just making sure the water gets in there to rinse them out. You can also get a little fancier and rinse them with rose water and even use an eye cup to actually aim the water in there. You can also just put a little bit of the rose water in your hand and pour it into your eye. Whatever works well for you. The rose water is particularly nice for folks who tend toward heat and inflammation. The rose water is cooling, and the eyes have kind of a close relationship with that force of heat and inflammation in the body. And so taking care of them regularly with something cooling like rose water or cool water can help to mitigate inflammation throughout the system. You can also, if you want to get fancy and add another layer of eye care on there, you can do an eye wash made out of triphala, which is an Ayurvedic herb, a cleansing Ayurvedic herb. And you basically would get the triphala powder. You can order it from Banyan Botanicals. And you'd make a tea with like 8 ounces of boiling water and a half teaspoon of that triphala powder. You'd let the Triphala tea sit for at least a few minutes, if not overnight. You want it to steep for at least 3 minutes. And if you care to, you can just leave it overnight, prepare it at night before you go to bed, leave it overnight. And then when it cools down, you're going to want to strain it with a cheesecloth so that you make sure there's absolutely no particles in the remaining tea. And then you can take a dropper, a medicine dropper, and just put a couple of drops in each eye. It's very sort of extreme. It feels like intense at first. It's definitely awakening and a little bit alarming. And it'll probably make your eye tear a bunch and water, and that's flushing debris and accumulation, and in Ayurveda, what we call kapha, out of the eye. And this sort of daily eye treatment, again, if you prepare the tea, you prepare a little batch of it and you just have it in a dropper on hand in your bathroom on the sink, this doesn't need to take a long time. And it's used to prevent cataracts from developing, and it's also used in the treatment of glaucoma in Ayurveda. So this can be a nice practice, as you're getting up into your 30s. Even folks, as young as 18, 20 years old can start doing it. But, those of us who are a little bit older may notice some changes are happening in our vision, and maybe we've had to take our parents to get cataract surgery and feel like that may be in the cards for us. And so this can be a way that you can prevent that for yourself by doing it on a regular basis. I wouldn't say that you need to do this on a daily basis, but maybe once or twice a week, if that worked for you. So, but on a daily basis, you can do the cool eye rinse. So that's a little bit about eye care. The next sense we'll look at is our sense of smell in the nose. And to care for that, Ayurveda recommends a few drops of Nasya oil in the nose each morning, 1 to 2 drops. And that's another herb mixture you can order from Banyan Botanicals, or you can order it from the Ayurvedic Institute. I'll put links in the comments below this live. But Nasya oil, it opens and clears the nasal passages. It also protects the nasal passages. It allows for better breathing and enhanced sense of smell. It's got stimulating herbs in there like eucalyptus, so it really opens the nasal passages. And then that oil helps to prevent any dryness that might occur in the nose, and it helps to boost your immunity and protect you from allergens, because it's kind of coating the nose with a protective layer so that pollen and other dust and things you might inhale, they don't have the opportunity to irritate the actual skin in your nasal passages, because it's protected with this layer of oil. The Nasya oil, it's also going to cleanse and stimulate your mind. So it's really nice in the morning. It helps to wake you up and make you feel nice and vibrant. It also improves mental clarity, focus, and memory. And it's good for easing tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. So if that's something, if you're somebody that sits at a computer all day and you're hunched over and tense up there, doing this practice in the morning can help you to start the day off with a little bit more relaxation in the neck and shoulder area. And with the Nasya oil, it comes in a dropper bottle, and you'll just lay down on your bed with your head sort of tilted up like this, and you'll put 1 to 2 drops in each nostril while you're laying down, and you'll close off the other nostril after you put the drops in. You'll close the other nostril and just gently inhale to sort of draw the oil up. You don't want to really sniff up, because what that's going to do is send the oil all the way down to the back of your throat. You don't want it to go quite that far, but you just want to sort of invite it up further in the nose. So you'll do that, gently inhale, maybe a couple times, and then do the same thing on the other side. And then just lay there for maybe 60 seconds just to let the oil kind of move upward. And whenever you do get up, you may notice that a little bit of the oil drips down And I usually just like kind of rub it in like moisturizer around my nostrils. But most of it should stay up in the nose. So if it doesn't, if it feels like most of it's coming out, then try laying back for maybe another minute or two. So that's Nasya. And next up is ears and hearing, taking care of that sense. So with that, super simple. Put a little bit of sesame oil on your pinky, each of your pinky fingers, and then just put them in the ears and rub that oil around in the inner ear canal. This is going to help protect the ears. It's going to help them to stay warm in there and moist. The ears tend to dry out more easily. And talking about all this sense care, my nose is itchy and I feel like I have to sneeze. So the oil, again, provides a little bit of protection from the outside wind and cold and anything that might blow into the ear. It also is going to improve your hearing. It's going to loosen any earwax that's in the ear so that it can, smoothly come out on its own. It also soothes the nervous system. The ears have an intimate connection with Vata dosha and the nervous system. And so adding a little bit of oil in there helps to promote a sense of calm. It also can be useful to alleviate insomnia, sort of in this same nervous system soothing vein. And it can reduce headaches and TMJ, as well as ringing in the ears. So you can just do it real simple with a little bit of oil on the pinkies. If you want to get a little bit fancier, you can warm the oil and brown a little bit of chopped garlic in the oil. And as soon as the garlic gets a little bit brown, turn the oil off, strain it, let it cool significantly. You want it to be room temperature. And then you can put it in the ears, put that garlic sesame oil in the ears, a few drops in there. And you could do that in the morning, or you could do it at night before bed if you want to get a little bit fancier with your ear care. But otherwise, just the oil on the fingers and putting them in the ears, 1, 2, 3, you're done. Next is the tongue. So tongue scraping is a practice that Ayurveda recommends doing every morning when you wake up. You can get just I recommend the stainless steel tongue scrapers. And you basically just go from the back to the front, gently scraping the tongue. We're not digging in here. Your tongue shouldn't bleed. It shouldn't be painful. It's just a gentle scrape, removing any coating off the tongue. And it's an opportunity to look at how coated your tongue is and what that coating looks like. That can tell you a lot about how your digestion is doing, and also the toxicity in your body. If you have a thick coating on your tongue, there's likely some toxicity in the body. So gently removing that coating on the tongue cleanses our palate so that we can taste better. We can appreciate our food more and get the medicine that each of the 6 tastes convey. In Ayurveda, experiencing taste fully is an important part of facilitating healthy digestion, because each of the different tastes, there's 6 tastes in Ayurveda: sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. Each of those tastes has a medicinal effect in the body. And so, and the way that it initiates that medicinal effect is when we begin to taste it on our tongue. That sets off a series of reactions according to Ayurveda. So we want to be able to taste our food fully. Scraping the tongue enables us to do this. I do it about 14 times, scrape it, and then rinse the coating off the scraper, and you're good to go. Takes less than a minute to do. And then last on the list is taking care of our skin on a daily basis. And so the quick option here is to just do dry brushing with a natural fiber brush. They make brushes specifically for dry brushing. You wouldn't just use like a hairbrush or something for it, but it's a natural bristle brush. And you basically just begin at your feet and brush moving up the body, going against the grain of the hair and moving all the way up in using long strokes on the long bones and kind of circular motions on the joints. You want to move in a clockwise direction around the abdomen, and you want to make sure that you adjust the pressure based on the sensitivity of whatever area you're going over. This, like any of these practices, none of them should be painful. None of them should cause any bleeding or scratching or anything like that. So with the dry brushing, you're going to avoid your face, you're going to avoid the chest, you're going to avoid any varicose veins, and any irritated or broken skin. Leave it alone, let it heal. But that, again, can take as little as 2 minutes to just gently brush yourself from top to bottom. It exfoliates the skin, it stimulates circulation and energy, and it helps to get your lymph moving, which your lymph is important in terms of your immunity and cleansing. So it's just encouraging it to begin that process first thing in the morning, turn on the immunity, cleanse anything out that needs to be gotten rid of, and start your day fresh and clean. So hopefully those tips were helpful. A simple like pattern of how I like to do it in the morning, just to give you an idea of how you might put it all together and make it a really efficient process, is I get up, I brush and floss my teeth, I scrape my tongue, I rinse my eyes, then I wash my face. Then I do the dry brushing and go up from the bottom to top. Then I put a little bit of oil on my fingers, oil my ears. Then I will lay down in my bed, do 1 or 2 drops of the Nasya in each nostril, gently inhale, sit there while it's going up the nostril, and just sort of think about what I'm grateful for the day and kind of set some intentions for the day. Use that as like a time to let the oil flow up and let myself get into a good headspace. So that's my little rundown for it. Hope that helps, and feel free to drop any questions you have below. I'll see you again real soon. Take care.